All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Look who's with us down here at the bottom. We got our guy Norm making an appearance. Norm, turn on your. Do you have your chat room mic on? All right. So again, new setup for Norm here. So we're trying to test
There we
something out.
go.
Hopefully,
How's that? Are we
you guys
good?
can enjoy this. We just need him to turn that one on. Let me see if. Oh, it's on my end. Here we go. It's on my end. I gotta turn him on. Excuse me. Here we go. All right, now I
Oh, I
can
can
hear
still
you.
make funny faces, David.
Absolutely. All right, guys, welcome. Me and Norm were just kind of preparing, and we're looking at this gappers list, guys. It is again monstrous. So we're kind of thinking about how we're going to tackle this. One of the things we're going to do here is probably bring this down and just look at anything above 4% or above 3%. So we're going to filter this out because there's way too much to go over. Again, SPY is down quite a bit, so we'll get into that also. And we're going to skip over going over the stocks from yesterday. So we'll skip that as well. Kind of focus on what's at hand. And actually, Norm has something good that he wants to talk about today as well that I think will be more relevant and very important for you guys as well. So, Norm, give us a little bit on the spy. What's going on there this morning? Again, just when you think we're going to get a bounce, we're back down again.
Yeah, no kidding, man. So we're down 1.4% right now. It just steadily has been creeping down. We're slightly off the lows, but looks really just like a little bit of a pullback. Not anything that's bringing any strength to the market. 2.8 million shares traded so far. So another flush from the open. VIX is sitting right now at 30, a little over 30, up 11.2%, which is a very elevated VIX for the what we've been seeing over the last year. So there's only a couple of times where it's popped up this high. So one of these days, I expect a pretty nice, a pretty not nice. Let me rephrase that. Pretty big flush with an elevated VIX. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets up toward 40. If we see that, I'll be looking to see if maybe that's a little bit of capitulation. People throwing in the last people holding on to their positions, and maybe we get a bounce from there, but it's just not here yet. So that's what we're seeing this morning on the SPY. As far as economic data, weekly jobless claims just came out. I have not even had a chance to look at that number. If somebody else has it, you can throw it up there. Also, GDP just came out. And then we've got durable goods. We've got pending home sales index at 10, and then a Fed speaker at 11:30. So that'll be interesting. A lot of people are thinking of rate cuts coming in. So let's see here. Jobless claims came in at 219,000 versus 212, so a little bit weaker than expected. And the second read on fourth quarter GDP came in at 2.1, so unchanged. So that's what's going on there. We're moving down right now, guys, and many of you have probably already read this. The first case of coronavirus in the U.S. That they cannot pinpoint how the person or where the person got it. They didn't have a travel history indicative of going to a place that has coronavirus, like China, for instance. So it looks like there may be a human to human transmission within the United States at this point, and it's freaking people out a little bit.
Yeah, yep, I agree. Again, it's just one of those things that hopefully can can be dealt with quickly before it gets really out of control. Right now, it's not out of control, but it's getting concerning because it seems steady not to just go
Yeah.
away. So that's what the concern is at. All right, guys. So here's our trade ideas top gappers list. What I'm gonna do here, I'm going to filter this out. Minus, we'll do +4. Normally, think that's a good number. We'll stick to 4 today. 4%.
I think we take a look at everything green.
Mm-hmm.
We'll blow through some of these because a lot of these are repeats like APT, Codex, Invax, Mrna, all those. And then I think, yeah, if it's down 4% or more, let's take a look at those. Let's
Yep.
include Microsoft
Mm-hmm.
and MU. And other than that, anything down 4% or more, we can take a peek at.
Yeah, here we go. I just did that, and it still feels like it's huge anyway. But that will help though. Yeah, and like you mentioned, we'll look at some of those also. Now, Norm, I know this morning you want to bring up something I think is very relevant and even more so important during this type of market, because this market, guys, is moving quite a bit. These are not normal market conditions. I mean, we're getting moves. Look at the SPY the way it's moving. This here is not
Yeah.
normal, and even really a lot of the days that we've been getting on the market, it's been so strong. Some of these moves are not regular market conditions where we're going up and kind of moving sideways a bit. So in this type of market where you're getting a lot of volatility, a lot of movement, a lot of volume, it's very easy to blow up accounts and make errors and get into a very tough position very early on in your day trading career, especially if you're starting out. So Norm wants to talk a little bit about that, and I think that's going to be very important this morning and for the rest of the week until this market can settle down a bit.
Yeah, so something, guys, I read on Twitter yesterday, and I saw more of it this morning. There's a trader, I won't name who. It's not part of this room, not part of this community. I don't know him personally. I've seen tweets from him in the past. He's got a pretty big following. Came out and said he traded Codex yesterday and blew up his account. This isn't a newbie. This is somebody. And the other thing is, I had a conversation with one of the more senior members of this chat room over the last few days. About this too, that this can happen to anybody at any time, any one of us, and you always have to be watching out. So he blew up his account on Codex yesterday. This guy, he's got, let's see, on Twitter, on FinTwit, he's got 5-figure followers. More than Andrew and myself and Carlos combined. He's been trading full time for 8 or 9 years. And he went short on Codex, low float, 15.8 million shares on this news, extreme volatility in that name, and had a bias on it. And my biggest point on this, I believe he said he gave up 8 months of gain. So I don't think he drained his account to zero, but that's a big pullback. It's happened to every single one of us. It can happen every single day. You never know when it's going to happen. I'll tell you, my biggest trading nightmare happened well over a year ago at this point. But I was having a really good month, and I was trying to get to a round number. And don't post his name, guys. I'll put it, if you want to PM me later after we get off the mic, and I'll tell you who it is. But anyway, I was having a fantastic month. The last day of the month, I literally gave back the entire month's worth of gains in one day. And it's the same reason. I had a bias. It's the same reason when people say, how are we going to play this? How are we going to trade this? I'm not formulating my opinion until I see the price action at the market open. I had a red day myself yesterday. It wasn't blowing up my account. Don't give me any condolences. I'm still had a great month. But I gave back more than I should have because I had a bias myself on what I was trading. And I had the wherewithal to get up and walk away. So my point is, you always have to stay vigilant and watch what you're trading and interpret. Don't get stubborn, biased, and think this has to go up, this has to go down because of news or it's overvalued. Tesla, hedge funds blew up over it. Anything like that. So just the most important thing, read the chart, stay in the moment, and make your decision on that. And if you find yourself getting tunnel vision, trading a single ticker that is going against you, and a lot of times in that trade, you'll see it, this doesn't look like it's going up, but I'm trading it long, just get rid of that ticker. Take it off your watch list. Walk away from it. Trade something else or stop for the day. If you can't stop for the day, trade something else where you don't have that bias. You're not stuck in it. Anyway, that was my point.
No, thank you, Norman.
Thank you guys for listening to me.
Thank you for that, because again, that, as you can see, can happen to anybody, no matter your experiences. So it's very important to constantly have that reminder embedded into our brain. So thank you for that. All right, guys. So let's start here. Obviously, just talking about it, CODX is here. This one is again ripping up today. Again, 3.2 million shares. It is up 62%. This thing has been broke out of $1. Did manage to stay above that. A lot of stocks sometimes do not do that, especially if they low flow, they come right back down. This one managed to even break out of $4, and then yesterday just took off from 5 all the way to 11. Yes.
Carlos, are you showing your screen? Because all I see is the gappers list and stuff. I'm not seeing your charts or anything in the room.
Yeah, I am. Can you guys see it in the room? It's funny. I'm also seeing my screen in the room as well. Let me. I'll try to do it again. So I'll stop it and I'll try
All,
to set
all
up.
I all I see is like a static screen without charts.
Really. There, I
Yeah,
just did it again. Refreshed it. Yep. So
yeah,
I
not seeing it.
just
I can see it on YouTube, but I can't see it in here.
yeah. So it looks like some of you guys are seeing it fine, others are not. Um,
I don't think the people that I don't think the people that are saying they can see it
mhm.
are are you guys seeing? A number of people are saying they can't see charts, and that's what I can't see. I see a news, I see a browser, I see a gappers list, but I don't see any charts.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are seeing.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. On my side, I'm able to see exactly what we were streaming on YouTube. Is what I see on my end. Can't see charts, only gappers.
Okay, now I see it. If you guys are having the same issue as me, refresh the room. It worked for
Okay.
me.
Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, no worries, man. All right, CODX. So this one, guys, again, as I mentioned, just ripping, and this is a low flow stock. What's the float on this one? I think it's 15 or less.
15.8 million.
Okay, excellent.
And this is
So
the one I was talking about
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. So again, guys, just want to be extra cautious with this one. It does got the volume, a nice pop here. It looks like it's ripping high. This looks like reminds of a BPTH type stock where if it keeps going with the momentum and volume, it can rip nicely. And today already going from the low of 946 all the way up to 14. So again, this is definitely the low flow of the day. You want to be extra cautious with this one, guys. Do not go in there trading this if you're just starting out. Also, be careful of your size. And if you're just again starting out, just avoid it completely. There's going to be plenty of other stock today that we can trade. Next on the list we have APT. Now this one we have seen here quite a bit. This is also a tech company, right? I think that's like similar to Zoom you mentioned
They
yesterday.
No, they make
Oh,
PPE.
oh
It's a
yeah, yep.
Canadian equipment, a medical equipment company.
Okay. So these guys again are ripping nicely as well, guys. They also been taken off with all the news of the coronavirus and everything else going on. So definitely one to watch. I don't have the flow information on this one. Let me bring that up.
10 million,
10 million. Thank you.
11 million.
All right. So let me just get something here. Okay, here we go. So again, so this one, guys, again, definitely active. Look at the pre-market activity. Great volume, 1.5 million shares traded. It is up 53%. So definitely one we can keep an eye on this morning. Next, we have Mrna, which has been really active and actually fun to watch. Wow, we're gapping up another 25% on this thing. That's incredible. So let's just kind of recap what it's done. It dropped down here, found a base, gapped up and had a nice day. Then gapped up the following day, didn't really do much. Basically closed out even, and now we're gapping up again. 25%. So no, what's going on with this thing, man?
It's coronavirus news, man. This is a biotech company that may have a potential drug that'll work on it. So that's where we're going here. And they actually had earnings yesterday morning as well. So a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a combo of both. I don't think their earnings were anything special, but it was more of guidance in what's going on that's getting this thing flying.
All right, so this is looking pretty good today. Again, this is another one, guys, that you also want to be very careful with. It can move quite a bit. The ATR on this thing is, I'm sure it's up there because it has been moving the last couple of days very well. It's $2.16 on a stock that was trading just 3 days ago at 23 bucks. So that's a lot, guys. That's quite a bit of a mover there. So be extra cautious with this one. Flow is 229 million. It is not a low flow stock, but I am going to bring it down here because we do want to be careful with the way we manage our risk, right? It's not a regular stock. You want to be cautious on this one. So our Mrna down here as well on this next to this riskier stocks. Next, we have a NVAX. This morning, they are up 23%, 818,000 shares traded at the moment. They had a pretty okay day yesterday, possible breakout here overnight, came back down, and now they're kind of hovering above the highs from yesterday. Pre-market activity is looking good. We got a nice little flow here. What is the flow on this one? 26.3, so slightly over, what we consider a low flow under 20. So this one is active this morning. Norm, any significant news on this one?
Just coronavirus still.
Mm-hmm.
I will note on Invax that it does have 26% short float. So a lot of times that high short float will make it trade like it's a lower float than it really is.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So we'll keep an eye on this one, guys. This is also very active this morning. NNVC has been one that has been on our list quite a bit the last couple of days. Let's see what they're up to today. So again, really crazy daily chart. We had some volume down here, started moving nicely, but then we got all this crazy chop. Kind of settled down a bit here. Now we're back at this level that we were testing a couple of days ago in there. So again, pre-market activity looks exciting. I like the way this looks now. We do have 46 million shares traded here, so a lot of the volume sitting in this area here. But overall, this is a good pre-market activity. Now, NNVC is a low flow stock, so I'm going to put it down here to next to CODX. It's a lot more manageable than CODX. CODX is just really a monster, but this one is also one that you want to be very cautious with this morning. So NNVC, put it down here. We got two pretty active low flows of the day with CODX and NNVC.
And NNVC is a tiny float, 2.2 million, and also has 34% short. So watch out for that one as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, another one on here, VIR. VIR this morning, this one is up 19%, 145. Another one that looks like is a biotech company taking off as well. Their flow is 37.6. Had a huge day yesterday, man. Look at this. Nice big pop yesterday. Again, this must be coronavirus related because everything around this time frame has been taken off. All these biotech companies, all these health companies are getting the volume. Everybody's kind of racing for this type of cure or whatever the case may be. And you can see here, this one had a nice big pop yesterday. As things get worse with the coronavirus, these companies are going to do better and better every single time because it just becomes more urgent to find the cure. And whoever gets it or whatever the case may be is really going to take off here. So this one has a good pre-market activity, not that much volume. Their flow is 37, but don't be fooled by that, guys. This thing can move quite a bit. We'll throw it on here. I'm going to throw it on. I'm going to throw all these on here as well. VIRC, all these biotech.
You're gonna have nothing. You're gonna have nothing up top, and everything's gonna be down on your low.
Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to find these companies that are actually, like companies that we can kind of trust a little bit. But these things, man, you want to be extra cautious. We'll move some up if we have to, but we'll keep them down here for now. All right, Lake. Lake is the first one. Nope, that's not red. Still 16%, all green still. Is Lake the same situation, Norm? How many of these in this list are in that pile of Corona news? This looks like the same thing.
Everything you've touched so far, man.
Yeah, so all of these, I'm gonna throw this down here as well. We'll pick the best one out of the Lake as well. So we got Lake, VIR, mRNA.
Lake does just for note. Lake does PPE as well. So these are either drug companies, right, or they make masks and gowns and stuff for medical personnel.
Okay, perfect. So we'll keep that down here as well. Here is SQ. Okay, a regular company. So SQ here. This morning, let's see what we have on SQ. We haven't seen SQ pretty active in a while, so they are actually up this morning. They're up 6.4, 384,000 shares traded. So they must have some good news that they're not following whatever the market is doing. What's going on with this one?
This is the first one we've discussed I'll actually be watching today.
Yeah.
Like you said, we used to trade Square all the time, and Brian had amazing trades on Square last year. But it just kind of hasn't been trading real well recently. They did have earnings last night. They beat on earnings and revenues. Number of users was impressive. So, and their forward guidance was also optimistic. So all in all, somehow they got the lucky day with the biggest pop of a non-biotech stock.
Yeah, no, this is the one somebody mentioned. This is one I was looking for. Yeah, we found it. Here it is. This is the one that we were looking for. So SQ, definitely going to be watching this.
It's like a diamond in the rough.
It is, especially that it's gapping up and not down. So that's interesting there. All right, GILD, another one as well. That's also somewhat related to that. Now I know this one you're holding a position, Norm. You won't be trading this one this morning, but we have a nice big gap up, man. 5%, 1.2 million shares traded. So this is taking off. Now this is one that we've been looking at quite a bit because it's been on our list for some time. It doesn't trade very well, guys. The intraday on this is not clean. So you want to be cautious with that. Although yesterday it looks like it did get better towards the end of the day. You see the open here? It's just very choppy. It did pop out here and break out, but overall, that's not a clean day trading stock.
It generally is not. I think it's been a little bit better recently. This had really heavy aftermarket action yesterday. It's popped up over 80 either aftermarket yesterday or this morning. They're doing trials on a drug that they've had in their hopper for a while. that they think it's going to be a viable treatment for the coronavirus. And also on top of that, Dr. Fauci in the president's press conference last night mentioned this drug and what they're doing with it. So it looks positive for something to come out of this possibly, and that's what's popped them up.
All right, beautiful. So we'll keep an eye on this. Again gonna put it down here. So I'm gonna keep the best. I'm probably gonna take 2 or 3 out of these that are all Corona type related stock and watch them. And actually, looking at GILD after 11:30 or so, man, this was a great breakup.
Yeah,
This was
beautiful.
beautiful.
And just to note, Gilead has a massive float. It's 1.25 billion shares, so it's nothing that's low float or anything.
Yeah, yeah. So you know what? I'm this is probably the one I'll watch today because if it trades like it did yesterday, man, that it was amazing. You just got to be patient. Got to get past through that area where it opened up pretty choppy and then took off nicely. All right, let's go to our list. QGen on here. It is on our gappers list. How are we doing on time? 8:51. All right, QGen. As much as I love having a lot of stuff to watch,
This is a foreign. We saw this when we first came around. Like, oh god,
yeah.
this is just so we know. This is a biotech research company based out of the Netherlands. So foreign and probably pretty hard to trade.
Yeah, and nothing good in this pre-market activity neither, guys. There's nothing exciting about this. Horrible daily. We'll skip this. Let's head down over to. I moved the gappers up list up a little bit. FRPTs, in case you guys are seeing that doesn't match. FRPT, guys, nothing great. Horrible pre-market activity. I don't see anything that I like on here, so I'm just gonna skip this one today. Next we have MMM. MMM is up 3.3. So they got earnings today or yesterday.
I don't believe they do, but they make once again. So this is 3M. You got to love Post-it notes, right? But one of the other things that they do is they make PPE. So people are stocking up on these masks and everything else they make.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. Volume is it's okay, not great. I'm gonna skip it for now. Maybe we'll throw it down here, but not looking too good right now. All right, AMD. All right, AMD is on here. AMD is down 4.2. So we did filter this out by we're going into our red stocks now. Anything below negative more than 4% down is going to be on this list. All right, so that's the way we.
You might have to move it to 5.
Yeah, right. So we know that Nvidia, we know AMD are all going to be looking pretty similar to what the market is. AMD has a great pre-market activity, obviously. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia has also beautiful pre-market. Again, everything's following the SPY. Nothing new here. STM, we know it's a foreign stock, so we'll skip by that one. Let's take a look at Lyft. I'm just going through these really quick before we start putting anything on our charts here. We're gonna pick the best ones out of this. Lyft has a nice big drop now. Lyft's been taking a nice hit here, losing some areas of support and resistance here. Now, what I like about Lyft is that we're barely hanging on to the lows of October. So although we have the coronavirus and everything else going on, this thing is looks like it started taking a hit rather early on before the market was selling off. So the market can actually boost some of this. Pre-market's not looking all that great. It's a little bit choppy now, but again, it's just kind of barely holding on to this area here. Worth putting on here on Lyft. I think that's will be a good one to watch if we can lose that level of support. Let's look at what is O all about? This one is
it's a REIT.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Horrible action there. Let's look at Roku. Take a look at Roku. Let's get remove some of these levels again. Roku's also lost this great area of support we had around 120. You guys remember that? We lost that. We just danced around a little bit below that. Now we're gapping down again. Again, the Rokus, the Nvidias, the AMD, all these are stocks that you just got to pick the best one. You can't watch all of them. They're all going to be really trading with the SPY. Let's look at American Airlines.
I will say one thing on Roku. I am going to keep Roku on my list.
Yeah.
I like the fact, yes, it broke down below that area that you were talking about in there, but when we had that massive drop from its all-time high on Roku last late summer, early fall, it bottomed out at 100 and then shot back up and made almost every dime of that move back. So it's getting back into that range. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but I'm going to be patient and keep my eye on this one today.
Yeah, yeah, this will be a good one. And again, when we get to these important levels, even with whatever the SPY is doing, these stocks are fun to watch. We knew that 120 was major level for this thing, and when it gapped down, look how nice it gapped down here. So again, that was a nice level to break out of. So yeah, we'll keep Roku on here. Roku is interesting. American Airlines, what do we have here? Tesla is next. So American Airlines has been taking a dive here, obviously, net down 5.4, 338. Now it's funny, out of all the airlines, this is the only one that pops up with volume in our gappers list. So it's interesting that that's happening. Like United Airlines and all these other
It's
airlines are not on here.
American has been the worst performing airline there is, and it's amongst the highest exposure to some of these places that we're talking about. So
There
that's
we
a
go.
big chunk of what's going on
Right.
here.
All right. So
It
that
was
makes
American
sense.
Airlines was ugly before any of this coronavirus stuff started
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. So that makes sense. We'll throw American Airlines on here. Next, we have Uber this morning. See what's going on here. So Uber, it is down 6.2. Some great volume, 968,000 shares traded. We did lose a great level of resistance and support yesterday right on here. So we're gapping down below that. Uber is interesting too because you see some of these areas where we have pivoted from. I think Uber could be worth watching. It has a great pre-market activity and the volume is really nice on Uber. So I'm inclined to put Uber on our list here. We can fine tune this a little
I
bit
will
later.
say one thing real quick on Uber and Lyft. Not only is it in the travel industry and
Mm-hmm.
they made their business and maybe get hit because of the virus issues, there's also a House bill that might cause some additional taxes on these companies. So I think that's a little bit of what's going on here. I don't think it's expected to pass, but that might be influencing those two as well.
Yeah, that's definitely worth keeping an eye on for sure. So Lyft and Uber, I'll probably watch one of them. I'll probably watch Uber because it has so much more volume than Lyft. So actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove Lyft and just watch Uber on here. All right. So next on our list, let's go down to AMRN. AMRN. This one we have traded before in the past. It is down 7.1. Again, similar pre-market activity to almost anything that's dropping down this morning. I don't see anything crazy above and beyond here. It is 156,000 shares traded. We are getting towards some areas where it could be good support. Maybe not today, but in the next couple of days, we have a nice area down here where we have some possible support where we have bounced from before, and we had this beautiful run all the way up to 25 from 14 looks like. So again, interesting. We just can't watch all these stocks. I'm not gonna put it on because just have way too many. Anything different on AMRN other than the SPY, the market news?
They had earnings in the last couple of days, but it's not fresh enough that that's what's moving it.
Okay.
So no, I've got nothing specific on it.
All right. CLVS, another one that we have traded before quite a bit in the past. Remember, this thing was ripping nicely, went all the way up to from $6, $7 all the way up to 17.31. And he got pretty extended here. Then he got a nice, beautiful drop coming down. So this one is losing this area of previous day close, which seems to be an area of prior resistance and support over the last couple of days. Not a great pre-market activity, guys. So with that, I'm just not going to watch it. Again, I just don't see anything great above and beyond here on this one. We have Bud up here next. This one, it's
Foreign stock
foreign
garbage.
stock. Yeah, it's down 9.3. It's down quite a bit. Nice big drop on it, but again, it just doesn't trade very well. So for that reason, I'm not going to watch it.
People are gonna be stuck at home drinking. I guess it should be up, right?
It should be up. Exactly, it should be up. BLDP. This is another one that has been ripping nicely as well. It is down this morning. Not a great pre-market activity. Now, is this is not a low flow stock, right? Um, I always say that, but I don't think it is. I think this is a big
No, it's
company.
160 million
Yeah,
on
yeah.
FinViz.
Yeah, the only reason I keep saying this is because the way these daily chart looks over the last couple of days, it's just been really all over the place, right? Usually stocks that are that high in a flow do not trade like this. They're down quite a bit today. Not anything great in the pre-market activity. We do have some candles here with some really significant volume. So compared to everything else that we have, this was not looking all that exciting at the moment. All right, here's the monster that we've been trading or at least looking at over the last couple of days. Space, SPCE. This is one very similar, guys, to this CODX and these stocks that can move quite a bit. As Norm was mentioning earlier, when we're talking about accounts and how you got to be careful, especially during this time where the markets are very volatile. This stock can move quite a bit. It is down nicely today, 17%. Again, It's been getting pretty choppy and toppy around this area. It's losing some of the great levels of support that it had right on here. This was a good level. You had the resistance here. You held it for a couple of days, and then here you're gapping down below it, sitting right at a level right on here. So this could be interesting, guys. I'm not sure if we have available units for short, inventory to short. This is very difficult to get stock to short on. But again, it looks interesting on this, the way he's sitting up right now for a short, unfortunately. I'm not sure if we're going to have inventory for that. CL.
They got,
Yep.
just on note on space, they got 2 ground downgrades this morning. One from Morgan Stanley and one from Credit Suisse.
All right, more the reason to watch that one today. CLR. This one this morning is down 25%. This is Continental Resorts. Not sure what company this is, but we are down quite a bit, guys. Nice big drop here. This thing has been.
Oil.
Oh yeah, so
It's an oil company. They had earnings last night, and oil's going to hell right now based on global macro economy. So all in all, it's a bad deal. And they got a downgrade, at least one I've seen this morning.
Yeah. No, it's great, guys. This thing has been dropping nicely, and the one issue with these stocks, they're very difficult to trade. Very hard to read the price action. If you look at the level 2, they don't trade with great volume, so it's just very difficult to trade these stocks. So I'm not going to keep it on my list for that reason. And last one on this list, down to almost 30%, is Plan. So Plan this morning, wow, huge drop. Norm, what's going on with this one? It's got to be something else besides just Corona news.
I pulled this one up earlier. They had earnings this morning. I have not dug into it too terribly much, just because we were overwhelmed. I didn't get to it. I should have started at the very bottom, but they're gapping down on earnings news.
Okay. All right. So again, nice big drop here. When you have these type of big drops, they're worth keeping an eye on. You're gonna get some type of movements. This stock obviously doesn't have the best daily chart, but it does have a good pre-market activity here that's starting to get built up. 666,000 shares traded, and we are down 28.6. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's throw it down here just to see how it develops as we get into our morning. All right, guys. Normally, I will ask you guys what else you're watching besides this list, but we are really running out of time. So, Norm, anything else that you like this morning besides this list here? I know you mentioned Microsoft, right?
Yeah, Microsoft. That's another reason we're getting gapped down this morning. So, Microsoft, the largest company by market cap in the world, came out and pulled guidance and said they're going to have some issues due to coronavirus. That happened last night. So that might be something to keep an eye on. It's kind of getting into a buy area, potentially around 160 here for longer term investors that might see this as an opportunity. So I'll have my eye on Microsoft. Best Buy, BBY, they reported, and I've got so many notes that I have lost the info in here, but they are they beat their estimates somewhat, but they're still gapping down 3.3%, just under 100,000 shares. So that will be another one that pops up on our gappers here, just like the entire S&P 500 in a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, I still have this filter here as well. So there's a lot more
I know.
In there that we're not seeing. All right, so yeah, BBBY actually looks very interesting, guys. Oh, man, this list is just crazy. All right, guys, so let's get over to announcements. I'm sorry we couldn't get to some of the stuff that you guys are watching, but hopefully out of the few that you're watching, at least one or two should be in this list. All the stuff that we have so far. So let's get over to announcements, and we'll come back. We'll do support and resistance on some of these stocks.
All right, guys. As I have mentioned, for the first time ever, we are doing a 2-day free trial for the chat room. We're going to keep this going, so you can register for this today. You will get the rest of today and tomorrow. We'll announce it again tomorrow, and you'll only get the 1 day. So it's not available next week. If you can only do it tomorrow, my apologies. But we don't have a way to do it any differently. We had use the promo code PM free for that. AB will throw up the link. And then Ed Martin, we had last night in our success webinar. Once again, just amazing. Our traders have had a great response to that about trend trading. Next week, we've got Kyle's hotkeys, much anticipated webinar with Kyle talking about his advanced hotkey scripts and what all you can do with that. He's really a master. He's got a ton of stuff in the forums. Speaking of, if you're not a member of BBT and you'd like to, you can use the forums for free. Just sign up for a forum membership. If you have any kind of paid membership or any kind of membership with Bear Bull Traders at all, do not sign up for the forum membership. It will mess up your membership settings. Forget about Dubai because I don't know that Andrew's going there, and there's only three days left in the month. DAS Challenge, that is about to kick off. Kicks off Monday. They are in the training period right now, so you can get in and use the system, get all set up for their challenge next month. The website is onebesttrader.com. That's the number one, besttrader.com. You use the promo code BBT15 for $15 off the registration fee. Also, if you want to, we still have the single payment lifetime membership promo code LOVE going on. You get 40% off the membership. And then you can follow us on Twitter. Andrew's at Bear Bull Traders. Carlos is at Carlos MBBT. And I'm at Norm BBT. Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, excellent. All right, folks, let's first go through this list and just get rid of some of the stuff on here. All right, so APT, this one is actually a low flow stock. Flow on this bad boy is 11.3, so I am going to move this down next to CODX. I think these two are going to be the low floats of the day. They're moving very well. So APT, throw it down here. This is 11.3, and then you have CODX, which is 15.8. So again, both of them ripping really nice, some really good volume. You want to be cautious with these two, but these are the low flows of the day for sure. All right, so we'll remove APT off this list over here. So NVAX, this one here, guys, it's got some good volume. What's the float on this again? This is 26. All right, so this is worth watching. We'll keep an eye on that one. SQ, I'm definitely watching. GI Guild, I'm definitely going to watch as well. Again, had a great day yesterday. We looked at the intra at the market open yesterday, and look how well it traded after 11:30 or so. But before that, very choppy. So again, you want to be very careful with this one. Also, mind the number of shares, because look how this thing could move. We're going from 70. This whole entire consolidation, that's a little too high. We'll bring it starting from here. This consolidation starting from here to here, right? We're looking at almost 72 bucks, right? The top of this. And the bottom of this consolidation is almost at 70, 90. Right, so you want to be cautious with that. That's a big move on this type of stock, just in this range. So if you're going to set a stop loss, you got to give it enough room. After that, look at the potential, beautiful breakout. So hopefully, if we can get that type of action today, this can be very nice. So it's good volume, 1.4. 4.6 this morning. Usually this stock does not trade very well, but obviously the last couple of days, especially yesterday, has proven different. Has potential here. So Roku, guys, definitely going to keep an eye on this one. What I like about Roku, it has been losing some of these levels. It lost this 120 on here, so now we can possibly get to our next area of support in this area down there. So we'll keep Roku. Uber, I think it's exciting. Uber has been taking a huge hit, obviously because of the market as well, but also losing a lot of great support here. So I like the way this is moving now. Also 1.3 this morning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Microsoft. Microsoft have been doing very well. Had a lot of great news. Popped up pretty nice up here. Giving some back this morning, and we're sitting right at an area of resistance that we tested 2 days ago. So again, we're back right at this area. This could be where we can get a bounce. If we lose that, we can possibly start heading towards some other areas down here of support as well. So we'll keep Microsoft. Space is interesting. I don't think we have inventory for sure. Again, this thing is just tanking nicely, 19%. And then Plan, what I like about Plan is usually when these stocks drop this much, above 20%, 25%, 30% down, they tend to find somewhat of a support. And in most cases, they'll start slowly closing this gap, right? You might get a lot of chop at first. They'll start slowly closing this gap, or if they're really taking a hit and it's going to get some continuation, the downtrend becomes so beautiful, you can really get a good play towards the bottom as this thing trends down. So again, anything with this type of percentage down, I definitely want to keep an eye on. All right, so I think that's about it. Let's go quickly look through some of our possibles on here. I have this twice. I'll remove it from here. Out of these companies, Lake, VAR, mRNA, I think is one you want to watch. VIR, this one I am going to keep. Lake, I'm going to remove. As you can see, VIR is very active. 3M, I'm going to remove as well. Let's get this one out of the way. NNVC is also, you've got 3 low flows of the day: NNVC, CODX, and APT. I'm not going to go through those, but if you are trading low flows, these 3 are very active. And actually, if you look at CODX, is amazing, and APT is also great. So NNVC will take that one off. Compared to these two, these are the ones that are really got it going today. Again, guys, VV, very, very, very careful with these type of stocks. All right, so let's do some level support and resistance. So looking at NVAX, this one, not a huge fan of this daily though. Just looking at it closely now, trying to put some levels in here. I'm not really a fan of it, guys. The pre-market looks great. We'll do some levels, but I think this might get dropped. We have a 19, 12 bucks high of the pre-market low. The pre-market sitting right at 1040. Your price action is right at the high and low from yesterday, so that's nice right on there. Below that, you got your previous day close, highs and lows from the last two trading days down here. I'm going to mark down this 10 also. It's worth having that on there. If we get above this 12, we've tested a few times in the pre-market, have not been able to break above that. If we get above that, what do we have up here? Yeah, we have some areas we tested before in the past. Just zoom in right in here after this gap down, and you do have an area here around 1340. So we got some levels for it, guys. But now that I'm looking at it closely, I don't like this daily, to be honest. So I'm just gonna remove this one. But you have some levels for it in case you want to watch it. But it's not a stock that I like to, for me personally, to trade. SQ, I'm definitely going to watch. Probably the only one that's green this morning. That and Guild too. I think Guild is good. That is worth having on your list. That can possibly get some movements going here. And it's just great because the fact that this stock is up and not down. This stock follows the SPY quite a bit. You can see here you have a few days where it dropped down, kind of what the SPY did. Today's gapping up aside from the SPY being down. So 87.31 got a great daily level up here. Towards the bottom, guys, you do have our high of our pre-market sitting at 82.61, so we'll mark that down. And I think that's all the levels you need because towards the bottom, you got your highs and lows from the last two trading days. Previous day close got you covered on this one on SQ. I'm sure Brian will be looking at that. Brian loves SQ as one of the stocks that he has traded. I mean, I remember last year, the year before, man, we traded this stock almost every single day was on here. So here's Guild, guys. So this one, high of our pre-market sitting at 81.35. Our low sitting at 76.17. So we'll mark both of those down. And we can see we got some great areas of support and resistance towards the bottom. Previous day close, highs and lows all in this area here. So do not need to add anymore. Now let's go over to the left here. Norm, are you good in your position right now? I know you have this long term. How are you doing with that? Are you all ready to bail on it or what?
No, I'm gonna press my luck a little bit longer on that one. It looks like it's just going. I'll be ready to bail if some news comes out that's bad, but it'll be a little bit before then kind of that news is even possible.
And Brian is in our chat. And just to kind of get these levels here, we have 86.39, 89.48. This will be the time to definitely get going, Norm. I am with you there. In between here, you do have some areas of consolidation. 82, I know it's close to that 87, 30, 81.37 high of the pre-market, but this 82 is worth marking down. You got several days testing that. You also got some consolidation happening here. So yesterday, guys, if you are not switching gears a little bit here, I know we're tight on time. If you're following the swing trading alerts, Brian took this beautiful trade on BIMI yesterday. The entry was at $4 bucks, I think it was, around this area here. This morning you're already at 460, and I actually took this trade with him on my Thinkorswim account. So I saw the alert. I'm like, look great. Look, see the great breakout here, and this morning's popping up nicely. Our target is 575. Oh, I'm 475. I forgot the target. But I got to check my account. It's probably hit already. So, again, amazing swing trade alert. If you have not joined it yet, go to our website, go over to swing trading, scroll to the bottom. You can sign up for the alerts. A very clean email. I wish I had I'll get you a copy tomorrow so you can see how clean these emails are. You know, entry, exits, no propaganda, no extra stuff that you don't need. Just straight to the business, you know. No fake meat. No beyond the meat there. All right, guys. So there you go. So here's Roku, guys. So Roku, again, has a beautiful pre-market activity. As many of these stocks that are the Roku, the AMDs of the world, the MUs today, have a great pre-market because of the market dropping, of course. Low of the pre-market sitting at 105.10. Our level here, 98.14. This is what Norm was talking about earlier. When we hit this level here, we found amazing support. We're getting very close to that. We're not there quite yet. But we found amazing support, and then we had a beautiful run out. Look at this. It's just amazing. So, you know, Roku has the potential to get into this area and take off. Just when we thought it was on a beautiful downtrend, remember this? We had a huge pop-up here all the way up to 150. Obviously, we lost most of that, and now we have, again, a possible area of support on Roku. Towards the top, guys, highs and lows, last two trading days. Do not need to add any more on there. Previous day close also got you covered. If we lose this 98.14, which I think that's a stretch, but if we do, 87.43 is an area where you have a very clear level of support right on there. All right, let's look at Uber, guys. So Uber this morning, again, dropping nicely. What is the SPY doing? Are we continuing to drop on the SPY?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still
so
going down with it,
yeah.
with accelerating volume.
Yeah, so this is helping some of these moves. Again, Uber also dropping down nicely. I'm going to mark down this level here, a little higher, 31.98. I know that's not the low of the pre-market, but that is where you found some support in the pre-market and then kind of bounced a little bit from there. Our high of our pre-market is pretty close to the previous day close, so do not need to mark that down. And you can see really in this area, you really have no support or resistance around this 34, between 34 and 31, where the price action is now. Your major supports are at the top of that 34, and where the price is sitting at now, 31.70. So we have those covered. Towards the bottom, we do have a beautiful area here of 33. You can see if you draw a line right on there, you have some great areas of support right on here and here. So again, that's good. If we lose that, again, I don't think that's going to happen today, but the way this market is dropping, anything is possible. 28.82, great area of support right on there. Here's Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, I believe, is a company that should not be down here at all. We're going to have these companies where they have no business gapping down. They've been doing very well. Earnings, everything has been good for these guys, right? Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But the market is dropping them. So again, these type of companies are going to be great. When the market settles down, it's going to bounce eventually. This thing is going to get resolved. We were due for a pullback anyway. The SPY has been going nothing but northeast, so the coronavirus is helping that as well. When these companies that have no business gapping down start bouncing back, it's going to be fun to watch. We have a level here, 162.17. Go ahead.
Just ahead, Microsoft last night did warn that they're going to miss estimates and pulled guidance because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But like you said, they have just been on a tear over the last couple of months here, and they've been ramping up for a lot of months previous to that. So.
Yep, I agreed. So low of the pre-market, 162.17, 157.32 on here as well. Nice area of support after we had a little bit of a tough time breaking out of that. So I think that's all you need for really Microsoft. You have your highs and lows towards the top as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here is Space, guys. This is one that also is dropping pretty hard here, taking a hit after is at the level where it broke out of. Again, we started looking at this around this area here where it broke out of 14, and we had some really good trades out of that. Is that another area where it broke out from? The price action is literally right, well, slightly below. I'm going to mark it down towards the top, 24.11. And then towards the bottom here, we do have a 20.18. I didn't mark the low of the pre-market because I think it's going to get broken and it's going to continue to create new lows as it heads lower. But this is one, guys, that broke out beautifully, had some good volume, nice pop. But today they're really dropping down on a downgrade. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Here is Plan, guys. What I like about Plan, guys, is the fact that the pre-market looks great. Also, you are down 26% on this stock. Our low of our pre-market is sitting at 39.04, so we'll mark that down. Let's go to the left here, see what we can find. We have a beautiful support here around 41.96. Nice big drop there and a bounce back of that level. Price action is slightly above that. And then you have a very clean support right on here, guys. Look at that, 46.25. Right, several days, 46 or so. We got a very clean area of support, several days bouncing off of that, holding nicely, and then changing directions on that 45.94. All right, guys, so that is what we have as far as support and resistance. Here's some possibles. I got American Airlines on here. I got VAR on here as well. Oh my God, this thing, look what it's done in the last 20 minutes. It is just ripping, man. Wow. So this thing is really taking off here, very active. And Mrna I have on here as well. The reason why I have these on here, guys, is that you want to be very careful. These stocks are probably ones that might be a little bit out of my league to get into a trade. I mean, they're moving $5 candles, right? Today's not the day where you want to be messing around with something like that. So just be
just a heads up. I mean, the spread on that's $2.
Yeah. Yep, just look at it right on here, level 1. So something I learned, Norm, you mentioned this last time we were talking about this. If you see zeros on here, I can't freeze the level 2, but if you see zeros on here, what the level 1 is going to do, and Norm noticed this, is going to pick out which one has actually a whole lot, right? Like 100, like 200, because these are all you got to add 2 zeros to the back. It will skip the ones and give you the real spread on here. So don't just go off of this. If you see a couple of zeros on here, a couple of zeros on there, don't go off of that, because that could be a person with 1, 2 shares, right? And it's going to show there. If you drop an order for 1,000 shares, you're going to get filled at the next possible availability. So just be aware of that. And as we're mentioning, this thing just continues to get a rip. Did it get halted? It looks like it's about to get halted here. Not yet. Not yet. All right. Norm, anything
I
else?
don't know. I don't know how it hasn't. That thing is up. I would anticipate it will soon.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna get halted right when it hit 60. You saw the pause, and then it's just started going again. But it's getting pretty close to it. Again, just be careful, guys. This right here, I know it looks tempting, but it's too extended now. If you're thinking about going long here, it's way too extended, guys. Just be very, very cautious. It's not worth the risk. That's what it comes down to. Is it worth the risk you getting in here and getting chopped up around? So just be very, very careful. All right, guys, quick recap. So we have SQ, which is probably one of my favorite ones on this list. It has a great pre-market activity. Is one that's not dropping, is holding. So I really like this one. GILD I like as well, guys. Been very active. If it can trade like it did yesterday, so again, I'm gonna give it some time to settle in. Had a beautiful trend trade yesterday. Roku is nice. Uber is also great, dropping lovely here. Microsoft is one to watch, holding on to this level right here. Love the pre-market 162. Let's see what it does if it tests that again. Space continues to drop. I think this got a downgrade also, but again, it's just not. We don't have inventory for sure on this one, unfortunately. And then here's Plan with a big drop today. We'll have to see how this one opens up and what it's gonna want to do this morning. I think that covers it. No, we were able to get through this list somewhat decent.
We skipped 3/4 of it, but yes, and we had to adjust your settings to be able to filter out.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, filter out some of the crap
but
on here. So let's see here. So let's see if we bring it back down to 2. I just want to see what this looks like. It's gonna be, there it is.
oh, it's ridiculous.
Massive. Guys, no fear of missing out. There's a lot on here. Days like this are difficult, although things are moving. They're difficult because you're not fine-tuned into a specific watch list, right? Here's what you do not want to do. You do not want to be watching your main watch list, and then someone else mentions something. Hey, look at this, it's moving. I'm in this trade. I'm in this trade, and then switch to that ticker and then take a trade just because you have the fear of missing out. That is a recipe for disaster. Do not do that. Just be patient, and trust me, we'll have better days if today's not one where you can find something that looks decent. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and Twitter. We appreciate you guys being with us. We will check you out tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. We'll do this again.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.